Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'll be doing a reaction and review to Perfume's recent video and song for Challenger, the video being designed by a competition winner. Now, just so you know, the new format of this channel basically means that if you want to check out the reaction, I've just done it, so go click the link in the description below to see that in a separate player. It's just something we have to do now, unfortunately. And then if you want to watch the review, that's about to come up any second now. So if you haven't watched the reaction, go pause this and click on the reaction now. You watched it? We ready? You ready for the review? Maybe you don't want to watch the reaction at all. Maybe you just want the review. Well, here it comes. So, that was an interesting one on many levels. I must admit that I was kind of worried hearing a new song by Perfume, because I think there's been a few things about Perfume that have given me a reason for a little bit of concern, maybe. I really like, on the core, what they are, and I'm one of those people, I think maybe I have a sort of a positive bias towards them. I want them to do well. You know, I like the fact that they've been around for so long, that they have like this sort of positive style of pop music, that what they do is basically down to sort of cool visuals, cool sounds. You know, it's playful, it's nice, it's kind of fun for really all ages. So I think that when it comes to pop, they're a good sort of group to have out there doing positive things. However, there have been two things that I've said in a lot of our Perfume reactions before, and apologies if you're new to the channel. We had to restart the channel recently, hence why we're doing the reactions in a separate player. Thus, the old Perfume videos are not actually online at the moment. However, the concerns that I basically had was that their music had gone into one of two ways, which was that either they were doing that thing where the producer, Yasutaka, I believe, Yasutaka Nakata, if I remember his name correctly. I always have trouble remembering his name. His style of production had become kind of something where they had been a little bit safe. They started to falling into doing very similar things, which I wasn't against, because I like that core sound. I like his sound as he uses in both Perfume and Chiari's songs, and seemingly in the other music of his we've checked out as well. However, they then started to go into this different style, which I had more of an issue with, which was kind of like the sort of the future pop direction, where they were not really doing choruses in their songs at all, and they were going very much towards a sort of EDM dance style, but in that kind of rather unfulfilling way, where everything's build up and then the hook comes and it's just a rather weak instrumental riff, which is really how I felt about songs like future pop. There were a couple of others as well, but that was the one where I first went, actually, this isn't so much a good pop song, it actually comes across a bit annoying. So I'd had very mixed feelings about Perfume. I wanted them to do well, I liked their core sound, but I didn't feel like they'd really developed in much of a good direction. So when it comes to this song, Challenger, this takes things, I think we're going back towards that safer place, which is, I think, the better of the two options. It does work, as always seems to be the producer's skill. He manages to make all of his songs sound identifiably his, but also kind of unique. You know, you never get two of them confused. And this is true for all of Chiari's songs, all of Perfume's songs. They're very sort of identifiably different, and yet very identifiably him. So in a way, even if it's going back to that safer sound, I like it. I think it's a good choice, and I think it's one that I would rather them do this than aim towards an EDM sound that just isn't fitting them, in my opinion. By the way, I should point out they have got some songs of a more EDM ilk that I really liked, so I probably shouldn't be too against that. Like there was one of the most positive reviews I gave to them was for the Edge Triangle remix song. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, and that goes on forever, and I just really loved that. I thought it was really engaging, really loved that. But on a total, with some small exceptions as a general, I think they seem to work better in their core sound. I hate saying that. You guys know how much I love bands to experiment, how much I like groups to go outside of their comfort zone. So, you know, maybe something will come along where they'll try something else and it will work really well for them. But at the moment, I'm happy hearing them in their safe sound, and they do a great job with this. It's not the most catchy of their songs. I don't think it's going to be one of their legendary songs, but it's got a really good feel to it. It bounces along really well. It doesn't get tiring. It's got a good build up in the pre-chorus. The chorus is not, again, I did say this during reaction, it's not like one of those right home, this is the catchiest thing ever songs, which is, you know, that's not really a criticism. Not every song has to be the catchiest ever, but, you know, Perfume are a group who we know they can get mega catchy. In fact, in my our Backer Breakdown, Backer Broadcast awards for our first year broadcasting, we actually gave our catchiest song to Perfume. Our Catchiest Song Award to Perfume. So it's not on that level. However, it's still good enough to be relatively catchy. And it certainly is very much in keeping with the tone of the song. It's fun, it's light, and yet the production stays nice and thick underneath. I thought the intro was really good for this as well. It's possible I would accept if someone argued that this song maybe outstays its welcome. Maybe it's longer than it needs to be. Yeah, I would be willing to accept that. Personally, I didn't feel that was the case on the first listen, but I can imagine maybe after multiple listens, I would want this song to be trimmed down to something a little bit neater than it is. Its runtime does go on quite a bit. I mean, it was a 7-minute video, and I accept that like the first minute or so of that is intro to the whole thing, and then the last minute or so was outro credits. And yet, still, I don't think this needs to be 5 minutes. I think you could have easily pulled this off in like 3.5 to 4 minutes. So yeah, it didn't feel like too much of an issue the first time around, but maybe on repeat listens, I might find this a little bit too long. So yeah, that's me trying to be as critical as I can, trying to, as always on this channel, trying to critique things. But overall, I actually like this. I'm happy that it's kind of a return to their safe space, even if ultimately what I really want to hear them is to do something totally different that just suddenly clicks and works and shows them a whole new avenue of things that they can do. However, they've just started to pull out a little bit more international success, obviously doing Coachella last year. They're starting to get out there into the international market, so probably staying safe is what they're going to aim to do for a little while. I liked it on that level. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a good, enjoyable demonstration of what Perfume do best, what the producer does best, and what we kind of just know from them. So yeah, I was all for this. I should make a little comment about the video because I at first when I saw this I knew it was a competition winner, and I just figured it was like a competition win from any old fans, but maybe it's a children's competition, because when they showed the credits at the end, it was actually quite a young kid who seems to have done this. I'm really bad at guessing children's ages. Even though I worked in a school before, I don't know how old this kid was. However, for something which was designed by a kid, yeah, it's got a lot of vision, it's got a lot of design. They showed his treatment, I forgot what they call it now, storyboard. That's it, storyboard at the beginning, and it was really interesting. He went for a lot of complicated ideas, and I think it worked really well on that level. And it showed that this kid had a vision, and the vision was put onto screen, and it came across as quite fun, and had quite a lot of had a really sort of nice, bright, interesting, playful, slightly Tetris feel to it. If I'm going to be critical and, sort of be totally honest and sort of ignore who did it, ignore the fact that this is really amazing for a kid and view it just as a video, I felt it seemed to have more concept than it really did any joining theory behind it. So for quite a long song, when you've got all these sort of visual motifs going on and there doesn't seem to at the end of it be any payoff for what any of it was about, it feels a little bit like, okay, what was going on there? Also, I think that there was just a kind of feeling, like I say, again, for a young kid, this is not so surprising because, they're coming from a different angle. But looking at it as someone who's watched so many Japanese music videos and music videos in general, Japanese music videos, we even had an award, like I was talking about those awards for last year, we had an award for the best use of, I can't remember exactly what we said, it wasn't just cubes, basically for 3D shapes. We had an award for that just because of the fact that it's ridiculous how many music videos have just Japanese music videos have random CGI 3D shapes just barreling around for no reason. So when I suddenly saw this was all based on cubes, I was like, aha, that rings a bell. So that also gave it a little bit of a bizarre element of cubes again. So it probably didn't win anything on originality stakes, but it was fun. It showed a lot of vision for a kid, and I don't think you can really sort of be too harsh on it. I think for what it is a nice idea. I really love that the band put it out there and gave like kids a chance to come up with an idea for a music video. I really love the fact that a kid came up with something that had such a nice and sort of fresh look to it. However, if I was to be mean and critical and an adult about it, I would say that it's not something that if you've been on this earth for more than 20 years, it's not something that you haven't seen before. It's also perhaps a little bit too slow moving to support the song, which at that length. So yeah, there you go. Probably people are going to give me loads of thumbs down for being an arse about that now. This is what we do on this channel. We're honest about everything. No forgiveness. But basically, yeah, it was a nice, refreshing, fun tone went back into their sort of safe space in a way that sounded good and didn't sound like they were just tiredly retreading ground. It sounded like something which was a nice addition to their catalogue. Nice video. Not going to change the world, but a nice video. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. So anyway, thank you so much for viewing this. Thank you for following me all the way to the end. Even if you're going to tell me I'm a horrible person for being overly critical and overly analytical of a child's video, I am still going to say to you, leave your comments. I really like it. We all like it. It's a big part of what this channel is, or at least was, and now it's starting to be again, that we're all about the comments. We're all about the conversations. Get in there whether you agree with me or not, whether you like the song or not, whether you heard it before or not. Get in there, give us your views, converse with other people. If you want to get really into the conversation, remember there's also links in the description below for our Discord, for our Reddit, for Facebook, Twitter, all those kinds of things. And hey, a big thank you to our Patreon supporters for making everything look lovely. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much to you guys for making it to the end of the video and watching this. Feel free to join any of those links in the description that I mentioned below. And yeah, otherwise, for now, from Japan, until I see you hopefully soon on the next video, ciao ciao.